You're listening to Melissa Gorga on Display with me, Melissa Gorga, on Podcast One.
What are you doing in 1 hour? Drizzly, you're getting your favorite beer, wine, and spirits delivered right to your door from Drizzly. Drizzly is the most convenient way to buy beer, wine, and spirits, with delivery to your doorstep in under 60 minutes. Right now, Drizzly is giving new customers $5 off their first order with code FAST5. Go download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com and use promo code FAST5 for $5 off your first order.
This wedding planning shit show has been horrible. So like, I was like, I'm not going to listen to that because this is by no means been the honeymoon. We're going to need a honeymoon after tying the knot.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of On Display. I'm so excited to be talking to you guys today. I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Another crazy, like, Nashville situation. I feel like we can't ever have a dinner in Nashville. I mean, does anyone else feel like this? Every time we're so nice and cordial to each other, and then every time we sit down to have dinner, it's like it's on, and like, I don't know, just the misery, so to speak, sets in, or just, I can't put my finger on what it is, but we just can't have a great dinner, which I get hangry. I don't know about you guys. I know that I'm tiny and everyone likes to say this, but if you knew, production will tell you, Melissa's the crazy one who gets hangry. Like, if you don't feed me, I turn evil. I'm not even kidding. I start to growl. I'm that girl who has to eat like every 2 hours on the hour, even if it's just like picking. And I hope you guys enjoyed us sounding like dead dogs creating lady drama. If you really listened to it, though, if you're listening, it's like the background. It's what this song's about. It's just, I thought it was so fun. That was like the most fun. I honestly want to say that, and like the line dancing were probably the most fun that I had in Nashville. Definitely 100%. It felt like authentic Nashville to me. And by the way, that was like the first time I had ever been to Nashville. I had no idea. First of all, the houses, and I felt like I was in Beverly Hills in some spots. So shout out to Nashville for being such a gorgeous city. I'm sure you guys saw the boat scene with Joe and all the guys. I know how much you guys love these men. They are crazy. They always love to bring the fun. I prefer them being like wild and crazy and fun, opposed to like the man drama. Haha, you get it, guys? They have man drama. But like, you know, throwing around like the penis and whatever. I mean, it's ridiculous. But and Watch What Happens Live this week. Super fun with Jackie. Loved doing that too. Thank you guys for all the support. I love how you guys are loving all of my fashion this season, especially my Nashville fashion. I really turned it out because, you know, it was Nashville and I was dying to bust out the hats and the boots and like my country gear that I definitely don't get enough chances to wear when I'm in New Jersey. So just really, really super crazy TV week that I wanted to recap with you guys. But I'm very excited about a couple that we are going to talk to today. I think they're so great. And we literally just watched them get married on national TV. They are the stars of Summer House. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Kyle and Amanda. What's up, guys?
Hi, nothing. What's going on?
Hello.
What's going on? Wait, where are you guys? Are you home right now?
Yeah, we're in Manhattan. So
you live in Manhattan. Okay. I had the pleasure of meeting you guys recently, not that long ago, right? Where were we? At like a Bravo event or something.
It was
the book launch.
Oh, right. Right. Yes, it was a book with yes, the book with all the dirty secrets of all the housewives book that caused so much drama. I met you at that event, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we were with Joe. Weren't you guys saying something about maybe thinking about moving to New Jersey, or you could see yourselves living in New Jersey?
So I grew up in New Jersey and my parents still live there. So I have a very special place in my heart for New Jersey. So I'd love to eventually move out of the city at
Look
least.
at Kyle's face. Just for everyone who can't see, Kyle looks like he just saw a ghost, and he absolutely does not want to move to New Jersey.
Hey, nothing against New Jersey. I want to make sure all suburbs are in the running as we just try to figure out,
There's a lot of suburbs. There's a lot of suburbs. I will tell you this, before we jumped on today, I have ran to the city and back already. And it was like nothing. If that, like literally it said on my Navi, I had to go to Park Avenue, and I'm over here in like Franklin Lakes. It took me 36 minutes. I jumped in, I ran into an office I had to run into. I turned around and jumped back, and I'm here. It's like the easiest. I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm just saying it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, my parents are in central Jersey. We're in Hillsborough, so it's a little bit farther. But
no. That's further
higher,
down. Yes.
Yeah, if you're up higher, it's easy to get back and forth.
I'm from New Hampshire, so I never thought I'd be living in a city for this long. I've been in New York since 2007. I definitely want like a house, a yard, a garage. I love washing cars, and I need all that.
You want to putz around like an old man in your yard. You want to do that eventually. Yeah. There's nothing like it on a Sunday morning. I like sit there and drink my coffee, and Joe doesn't know what to do. He's just out there like playing with it. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, come inside. He's like, I don't know. It makes me feel like good about like you just manicure something that's outside.
Yeah,
so
that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
And
well,
how's
listen,
Joe?
guys...
Joe was inviting us to when we met. Joe invited us to he was going to do a comedy gig like the next week.
City,
but I was flying out somewhere, so I couldn't make it. No, this was at Carol's, like in New York or something.
Oh, Caroline's. Yeah, he did Caroline's. That was a good show. You guys would have liked it. He's still going strong. He has like 3 shows coming up in upstate New York this next coming week or 2. He's been doing good with it. He loves it. It's a fun little gig. Listen, obviously this show is a platform, as you guys know, for many things. And the Bravo fans are so supportive and unsupportive in many, many ways. But when they're supportive, they're supportive. And so he took something that he loves, that he like enjoys. Like, listen, we're the couple that everyone wants to go to dinner with, right? Because we talk about all the uncomfortable things. We make people laugh. We say like, and that's Joe. He's very, I would say funny when it comes to like relationships. But when he said to me, hey, I'm going to jump on a stage at like Caroline's to an audience, I'm like, whoa, like that's a whole nother kind of funny. That's like, there's a script, and like, you have to hit points, and you have to know timing, and you have to switch when it's time to switch. Like, I was very nervous for him to do it, but I have to say he's been killing it. So I'm very proud of him.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, it's one thing. Like, I think Joe and I are like in the sense that we love making people laugh.
Yeah,
like,
you can entertain at it like a dinner party, but entertaining like a crowd of people that are paying to see you is a whole other level of pressure.
Thank you. And especially for me to be in the audience the couple times that I am, I die. Like, it's like,
I don't know what's going to come out of their mouth.
I don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. I don't want him to like waste people's time or money. I want him to be good. I sweat. I'm not even a sweater. You can put me through a full blown like cross country class at the gym and I'm good. Like, he gets on the stage and I'm drenched. Like, it's the worst. But anyway,
I got to go to the next one.
Yes, he's doing good. So thank you for asking. Listen, we have just seen you get married on reality television. What are your thoughts? Like, is it kind of crazy to actually watch yourself get married and know that like there's, millions of people out there also watching?
When you put it like that,
it's a very private thing. It's a very private thing. I feel like now in the reality TV world, you're not the only ones. There's plenty of people who do it because obviously people are now invested into your relationship because you've shown it. And it's weird. The fans almost feel like you owe them that. Like they are owed to see you get married.
That's how we felt. I mean, we met each other before, Summer House even existed, but our relationship, I feel like, really started on a more serious level that first season of the show. So everyone has watched our relationship grow and us go through the hard times and the good times and a lot of our relationship. So to withhold our wedding from everyone when they've had to sit through everything else this whole time just felt, unfair. So to us, there was kind of like no question. We knew it was something that we were going to share.
The irony, it was something in the works for a long time, quite frankly, pre-pandemic. We were looking for the right venue. And at one point we thought we'd found it, and then they backed out because they didn't want to let us film. And so it's been something we've been
it.
talking about for a while. And then last summer, I think the pressure of the wedding planning, the pressure of running our business together, we filmed not one show, but 2 shows last year when you add in Winter House.
Right.
It was like it boiled and then like boiled over, when we were filming last summer. So thank God we have that light at the end of the tunnel, which was our wedding last summer, that I'm just like glad that everybody was able to see it.
Yeah. But there's definitely an added pressure also of having it like look a certain way, because you have your vision of what you want for your wedding and you want other people to be happy. And then for it to be shown on TV, people are already so critical of what you wear, what you say, how you act. And then for me to throw this party and, you're going to have a lot of opinions. So it was a lot, but I think it was worth it. And I'm really happy that we had that footage forever.
Well, I give you guys a lot of credit for being able to show that, because you're right. There is a lot of pressure and just so many opinions on even what you're going to wear to your own wedding and what flowers you're going to hold and who your bridesmaids are. Right. And just everything that's all you and your decision that you don't really want anyone's opinion on. When you do it on reality television, you're just going to get it, which I applaud you for just being brave enough and obviously having thick enough skin and just being in love enough, so to speak, to just be like, listen, this is us. This is how we did it. And love it or hate it, here's our wedding. You're welcome to watch. Right. I mean, I think it takes strong people.
We're not forcing anyone to watch. You don't have to, but
right.
You want to, here it is.
Right. And I think it's so great for that you guys are going to show everyone kind of the happy ending, because you did show your struggles as a relationship on the TV. You showed your arguments, you showed some of your struggles and the different things that you guys went through on television and just in your real relationship that you guys have, which I appreciate. I think it's very real. It's very raw. It's very normal. It happens all the time. I mean, do you think that a lot of these arguments were escalated because the cameras were in front of you? I almost feel like there's times where I get into an argument with someone, right, on the show, and you feel like you're just more emotional because the camera is there. It just escalates your feelings. Do you guys feel that or no?
100%. I mean, I'm an emotional person to begin with. And if there is confrontation and it's being filmed, it adds a whole other level of uncomfort to me. I get shaky. I do start crying. I, get angrier than I anticipated, or, I'll find myself biting my tongue, because I'm like, this really isn't worth it to bring up right now. And it gets to a point where I then explode. And sometimes it's on camera. Most of the time it's on camera.
Yeah. Well, I also think, Melissa, from, not that I watch all the Housewives, but I think that one thing that's unique about New Jersey is that the men are much more involved. Right. And that means your relationships inherently are going to be more front and center. And I think the one thing that's been challenging for us is consistently over the years, right? We've been the one relationship. And I think that, in some cases, it's those people that are and it's the relationship itself becomes the punching bag. And, I think it's one thing if, all the cast members are, in their relationship, or their men or women are, making appearances or being casted on the show. But it certainly had, over the years, I think it kind of just manifested itself, on Summer House in a weird way, just because we've been that consistent couple, and for good and for bad, we kind of just go through it all. You can't really hide.
So, so then you have people talking, about you or to you about things, and it definitely having the cameras there. I think there's been plenty of arguments that may have happened differently without. Nothing's faked, but it definitely escalates the situation and makes it a little more stressful.
Of course. And I always say that it's not that it's fake. It's that it does feel heightened. And like you said, almost there's an uncomfortable feeling that almost makes you cry a little bit more than you would have if the camera wasn't there and the whole world wasn't watching. So it's not that it's a fake feeling. It just makes whatever you're feeling triple, and you're triple as mad because you can't believe it's happening in this setting as well. And then I don't know how you feel about, there's always castmates who have to put their 2 cents in, right? So I do feel like, and they also know they're on reality television and that they need to get in there and they need to have a comment and they need to get their opinions in there. So do you ever feel like your castmates sometimes during that time that you guys were arguing or having your typical relationship problems, like would they also get in there and cause friction? And was it castmates as well that would, escalate some of the fights that you guys got in?
I don't know if any of our castmates have ever escalated like our fights in our relationship. I definitely think there's been fights between other people. It's never been couple relationships. I think it's been more like friendships that we all start like chirping in and giving our opinions.
Right.
But for the most part, other than people talking about our relationship, I don't think anyone has caused more friction for us.
Yeah, I think it just naturally, I mean, like when you put your relationship through the grinder that is reality, I think I'm not necessarily directing or attributing particular friction to any one particular person, but it just naturally makes it more complicated. You're no longer looking out for yourself. You're basically, like, I know there are times where a man is like, hey, he doesn't speak for me, but people automatically assume that that's the case, and then vice versa. And I think it makes for an interesting situation. And when you talk about that comfort and like the way things are heightened with our show, it's like the cameras don't really go down because of the surveillance. Right. And so it's, you wake up the next day and you stare, you open your eyes and you're still looking at that like surveillance camera.
There's no biting your tongue. There's like no holding back. It's for that, those 72 hours, you're just on the whole time, which is also exhausting, more emotional.
Well, see, they don't do that to us on Housewives, but they did that to us on the Ultimate Girls Trip. There were cameras everywhere, like literally, and they were rotating as I walked. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like I was freaking out the whole time because I'm like, this is insanity. Like this feels like you're violating my whole life. Like I can't even, like, I don't know. I just felt so violated. So that is crazy that you guys have to do it that way. And listen, it's not like you guys are like, how old are you guys? How old are you? Kyle, you're what?
I'm almost 40. I'm 39. I turned 40 this summer.
I just turned 30.
And you just turned 30. Okay. So that's the thing. Like it's crazy when I watch that too, because like for Kyle, when I was to watch all of this, I had like 3 kids at this point, and I'm watching all of you guys live this like fun life, like in these hot tubs, partying, drinking, having fun. I'm like, wait, did I do something wrong? Because I know some of the people are like getting close to my age on there as well. And I'm like, why was I like home with 3 kids? And I'm like, has the world changed? Right. Because it's like, look, Kyle, I'm not that far off from what you are. Granted, I'm one of the younger housewives on our franchises, but like, I could see you guys coming this way once you have kids sometime. You never know. You could join the Real Housewives of New Jersey, although New York is going to recast, and I would totally love to see you guys bring that on up.
I know it's like, I'd like to think I never get tired of partying out in the Hamptons, but at some point, I think we'd have to switch it up a little, or turn the page.
Well, that's one of the reasons, maybe we should move to New Jersey because, the house husbands are such a big part of the show. Kyle,
she is so team New Jersey. I love it. He just keeps rolling his eyes like it's not.
I know.
You never know.
But you guys, especially I feel like in the more recent seasons, you guys have been partying a lot and like going to the beach and, doing your thing. It's been a lot more letting loose and having fun, so you'd seamlessly fit right in. There'd be no problem.
Yeah, no, we do. We have so much fun, especially the Jersey cast. We're definitely like the party crew. I think Joe and I kind of bring that aspect to the show where we just don't let anybody age. We're just like, no. You want to go to the Hamptons? We'll go to the Hamptons. Who wants to go to the club? Like, what do you guys want to do? We don't want to like.
Great parties.
Life is too short.
It is. And I think because I was such a young mom and I had babies at 25, that I still I feel like I'm still there. Like, hold on, I'm not done yet. And even though I have 3 kids, I'm still very young spirited, should I say. So for me, that's what, I look at you guys sometimes and I'm like, wait a second, why was I home burping a child? Like they're throwing things, they're having fun. Like, what's happening over here?
I get a lot of.
On the flip side, once we start having kids and I'm older, I'm going to be looking at, people who are your age now being like, how are you able to have so much fun? Why didn't I have kids younger? Now I'm, stuck at home taking care of my babies, and everyone else is
you're
out
damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Exactly. It's like pick your poison, right? It's like pick your poison. Winter hibernation may be behind us, but a good night's sleep is always in season. You deserve the best rest, and Brook Linen has your comfort covered with a lineup of cozy essentials made for relaxation. Brook Linen, home of the internet's favorite sheets, was created in 2014 to give customers luxury hotel-level home essentials that don't break the bank. They offer everything from snuggly sheets to cozy towels and robes, loungewear, accessories, and so much more. By working directly with suppliers, Brook Linen cuts out the markups and passes those savings back to their customers, so you get their incredible products at a reasonable cost. First time trying Brook Linen, their best-selling Luxe sheets are the perfect place to start, featuring a soft feel and buttery smooth finish. You can also take Brook Linen's signature softness outside the home with their loungewear collection, featuring the softest tees, tanks, sweatshirts, joggers, and all other essential basics. If you need an extra nudge to purchase, check out the 5-star reviews. Over 100,000 of them. Yes, you heard it right. 100,000 5-star reviews, guys. This is no joke. And for a limited time, Brook Linen is offering a free gift with purchase. If you miss out, you can use promo code DISPLAY anytime for $20 off your purchase of $100 or more at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code DISPLAY for $20 off your purchase today. Brook Linen, the curators of comfort. People don't always realize that physical symptoms like headaches, teeth grinding, and even digestive issues can be indicators of stress. Stress shows up in all kinds of ways. In a world that's telling you to do more, sleep less, and grind all the time, here's a reminder to take care of yourself, do less, and maybe try some therapy. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see if online therapy can help lower your stress. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Melissa Gorga On Display listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/Gorga. That's BetterHelp.com/Gorga. Remember, treating yourself does matter. At the end of the day, do you feel like the reality television has had a positive impact on your relationship with each other and with your friends, or do you feel like it dragged you down a little bit?
I would say it's had both. I mean, there's definitely some, harder times going through the show, things that we've gone through, having to relive it, having to deal with everybody's comments and opinions, like viewers who, they send you nasty DMs and comments about your relationship and what you should and shouldn't do. But at the same time, I think that the show has pushed us as a couple and with friends to have conversations that you wouldn't typically have, or had us have them sooner than we might.
Yeah, sooner is the key. I mean, as you know, like filming just kind of puts things on fast forward, if you will.
Yes.
I think I personally grew just because I think it's very easy, particularly being a guy in New York that's career focused, and I don't want anything that stands in my way of achieving some of my career goals. It becomes a scapegoat for being that D-bag that just won't commit. Like it's so easy to just have fun in New York. It's like a playground and like the grass is always greener, and I think part of the conversations that, that I had early on was just kind of coming to grips of like, how do I feel? A lot of guys will kind of like, we're bad at sharing our emotions. Right. And so I think that part of the show kind of helped me become a little more in touch with like man, maybe I am in love with Amanda. Like that first season, I was like, holy shit, like I am in love. Like, what am I doing? I'm gonna lose her. And I think that if I didn't have a producer in my ear being like, how do you feel? I don't think I would have asked myself that, you know? So
that
it's
is so true.
Yeah. It's, you kind of like, you know, it's like having these little therapists around you that know you really, really well. And even when you're like downplaying something, they know you're upset or they know you're hiding something.
Yeah. And then they want you to talk about it. It's like therapists. You have, your own therapist on the show that you don't have to pay for.
It's so funny that you guys say that. I always say, first of all, the producers know me better than I know myself most of the time. First of all, they're also watching footage back when you're not even paying attention. They're just watching your emotions and the way you look and your facial expressions. They know when you're upset. Kyle, what you just said, I have to say, is pretty amazing. It is so true. And the show does make you think. It does make you think. It does open your eyes to what's real and what's important. And sometimes when you say therapist, Amanda, I have said year after year that obviously my sister-in-law and I have been through tons of nonsense, right? But if I weren't on this reality show and if we weren't on this show together, these producers have been our therapists for the last 12 years. Literally, when we don't want to look at each other, they sit us both down and they're like, you guys have to have a conversation and you're going to have lunch. And I'm like, I have to thank them a lot of the time because I think we would just avoid. We would avoid.
People
we would just
don't want to do what makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think you and your sister-in-law would have, would you have been arguing as much if you guys both weren't on the show? But also, would your relationship be as strong as it is now if you didn't have the show?
I honestly think there wouldn't be much of a relationship at all if we weren't on the show, if I'm being completely honest. I think it would be very quiet. I think it would be very minimal. I think it would be, hey, it's happy birthday, Merry Christmas. I think the show has brought us on vacations together, has made us do team building together, has worked on just family parties. And I've always said this, and I tell Andy Cohen this all the time. I'm like, it's been therapy for us, and it's forced us to fix our relationship. When people will be like, oh, you jumped on reality TV. It's horrible. You're with your family. It's just ruining you guys. I'm like, no, you have no idea. If we weren't on this show, we would probably never speak. So there is a certain part of this, which I totally get in your relationship aspect it's like therapy, and like all the producers become part of your life and they know you and they do root for you as much as they do want the drama. We're not trying to kid anybody, but as much as they want the drama, they also do personally root for you to come back around, Do you agree with that?
Yeah, because they want growth. They hope for closure. They want to have that tension, but they also want everyone to get along for the most part at the end of the day. And that's what they're, helping push us all along to do.
Right. I saw, and not to bring up anything negative, I'm sure you guys don't care about this, but I thought it was genius. Kyle, you probably don't like it. I heard that Amanda's dad made you sign a contract. Is this like a sore subject? I don't want to ask a sore subject, but I was like, wow, I've never heard of this before. And
this was like something, sorry to interrupt, but I think that's okay. We'll take the opportunity to clear it.
Beautiful. Go ahead. Clear it up because it's very intriguing to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to speak on her behalf, but basically Amanda ends up spilling the beans late at night among her friends on camera. And I think either misspoke or misled them. It was an agreement that I drafted up in like Word.
Well, also, there was Kyle and I got into a fight. He was like out one night, came home. It was just a whole thing. And I was really upset. I just was like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And he was like, all right, how do we make this better? Like, how do we fix this? And I just said, I want you to write up an agreement and sign it that says, if anything happens, between us from now to the wedding and we have to call it off, like you are financially responsible to pay my parents back because they were fronting the money for all the deposits. My parents didn't know about it. No one else knew. It was just like a piece of paper between him and I instead of like a verbal agreement. I wanted a written agreement.
Got it.
Yeah, she put on her lawyer hat for the day. But I think that was the misconception that somehow her parents were involved. It was just simply because we were covering some of the costs. My parents were going to cover some of the costs, and Amanda's parents are covering a bunch of the costs. And if I wanted her to, have the confidence that I'm in it no matter what. And if I'm not, then I'm financially on the hook, despite not being the one writing the initial
and
deposits.
Kyle's a businessman. He speaks with money. So I knew that language would really resonate with him if I was like, your money is on the line here.
Smart girl.
Like
smart girl.
I couldn't be like, you're going to lose me. It's going to be like, you're going to lose
you're going to lose $50,000. Yeah. Or whatever it may be.
It was a way to get my priorities in check, because I went out, I was like selfish one night, and it pissed her off more than I ever would have expected. And, it's just like, I need to like remember that my actions affect both of us, and it was just like, all right, how do we resolve this? And that was what we came up with. But yeah, her dad wasn't involved, but I'm sure he's heard about it.
I think it's genius. I'm sorry to like interrupt here, but that to me is genius. Like if a lot of girls say like, listen, you're going to keep playing, you're going to keep going out, you're going to keep doing you and you're not putting us together here, like thinking about both of us, then just know that it's going to be your money on the line, not our money on the line. Listen, you know how many people are probably having people sign something right now because of the two of you, because I think it's genius. I love it.
Yeah, you have to speak their language. Again, if I was like, you're going to lose me, I mean, obviously that would have made him upset. Like he didn't want that, but losing his money, I knew he'd really take a lot more seriously than me being like, I'm going to walk away.
It was also, it wasn't really about, I wanted to give her the confidence. Right. And at that point, our wedding costs were like ballooning, right. And she was just like feeling like there's no way, like, if something were to happen, like, what are we going to do? And I wanted her to know that like, look, I'm in it. So this is going to like, I will do what you need to, but I'll give you what you need.
I've watched enough TV shows to know that a verbal agreement doesn't make it anywhere in court. You need something.
We need you to sign on the dotted line. That's what we need.
Exactly.
We're going to need all
so we
that.
signed it. We put it in a drawer, and thankfully.
Well, good for you guys. I like that. I actually like it because it was a little form of commitment. It's crazy that everyone had to know about it or whatever it may be. And I don't know where I got the thing that it was your dad or something, but I get it now. It was because your parents were putting money on the line.
Yeah.
So interesting. Like I was
it got blown out of proportion a little.
All right. Like it does. Right. So, all right. So now listen, everyone has probably just watched your wedding or are about to go watch your wedding. Right. So tell me all about it. Like what was your favorite moments that day? What is like the standout from your wedding that you guys just absolutely loved about that day?
Oh my gosh. Basically everything. I think one of the moments that stands out to me the most is after we got married and we walked back up the aisle. I had Kyle turn around and look at, all of our friends and family sitting in their chairs or like standing up and clapping and just like taking in that moment of us, like looking back at everyone in that one space and taking it in, everyone just like happy and excited. And I think that was just something that always sticks out in my mind.
Yeah, it was. I mean, keep in mind, Melissa, this was 3 years in the making. Like, we had gone on a crazy venue search. And then by the time we finally locked down the perfect venue, the pandemic hit, we got hit with like multiple delays. Then we had to replan everything because the only way we could actually pull off a wedding last summer was to do it in her parents' backyard, just from a venue availability standpoint.
Right.
So it was just like to take a step back and just, we could have done a shotgun wedding or like just eloped like a lot of people did during COVID. We would have saved a ton of money, but like
you held out.
Wanted our friends and family. Yeah, we held out. We wanted our friends and family there because they've just like, the audience, they've gone through the ups and downs with us. We really wanted an opportunity to bring everyone together and just like being there in that moment and it just actually happening was surreal. I mean, there were multiple moments. Like I'd walk towards the tent, which was like beautifully lit up. Everything looked amazing. I'd walk and it just multiple times, I just felt like it was surreal. That's
pretty cool. I love that you're saying you're turning around, you're looking at everyone. Everyone's applauding for you guys, and they're just like, "It's here, it happened. You guys did it. It feels good, right?" I mean, that's
normally you just walk. Yeah, you just walk away and you keep walking to wherever you're going to freshen up before they call you out. But yeah, we turned around and we looked at everyone, and everyone was clapping, and it was just really special to finally have everyone together and see them all there supporting us.
Amanda, tell me about your dress. What kind of dress did you wear? Who made it for you?
It was, so I mean, like Kyle said, we were engaged for 3 years. We had all different dates, all different venues. So I tried on like probably every dress style and concept under the sun. I was trying on all different like vibes and styles. I didn't know what I wanted. I was going with my mom, with friends, different people. And then
some of it was based on the venue.
Yeah, it was, because your dress has to kind of fit the venue.
Right.
So ultimately I ended up going by myself, dress shopping, to the same place I went the very first time I tried on dresses. And so it was at Amsal, which is in the city. And
beautiful.
Yeah, I tried on like 4 dresses. Some of them were like really elaborate. And the one I ended up going with, I thought I was going to do something form fitting. I thought I was going to do something with like decals, like those like 3D lace, the whole shebang. And I ended up going with something that was, tight around my chest, but a fuller skirt. And it was just like a very plain, like satin fabric with pockets.
Beautiful.
It was like very minimalistic. It was very me. I
felt
like myself.
It sounds beautiful.
And there was a lot of mixed opinions on it. Some people got it.
Who gives a shit? Who cares? Did you feel amazing?
And then people were like, it's boring and plain. And I'm like, well, I probably would have thought your dress was too much. And this
was gaudy, right? Like instead of simple and plain, let's go with classy and elegant. How's that? Because that's probably how you looked, like clean and neat and like classy.
Yeah.
I agree. By the way, I think that look is so much more in right now anyway than the whole beaded embellishment situation. Anyway, I actually love that. So I'm sure you looked amazing.
And it was in my parents' backyard too. So for me, there was this weird like head game I was playing with myself where I felt like I couldn't be too dressed up. It was my parents' house, It
right.
wasn't like
I get it.
a venue. Yes. So I did what I felt comfortable in and what I felt I looked amazing in. And that's.
Yeah. The venue that we were supposed to get married in, there were multiple venues, but the last venue was like brand new, overlooking, it was on the New Jersey side, overlooking like downtown Manhattan, like big expansive windows with like
floor to ceiling,
like granite floors. So it was a little, she probably would have worn
a different situation in that.
Formal.
Yeah, probably. Cause I was like indoor marble floors with like the city in the background. This was like New Jersey grass and trees. And like
no, you have to listen. It's like if you're getting married on a beach, you're going to wear flowy. It's just how you have to dress for your venue. Of course, 100%. Exactly. So it sounds like you picked the perfect dress. Just to wrap up the wedding talk, I also want to ask you this. I know that Joe and I, on our wedding day, even at my bridal shower, like so many people would write down advice and everybody just wants to give you marriage advice and wedding advice. Tell me the one thing that sticks out. Is there any advice that anyone gave you that you guys are like, this is probably the best thing and I'm going to go with it, to either of you? Did anyone hear anything that was like really stuck with them?
I have 2 things, but I'll share one first just in case.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
One, it's to hug at least once a day. Like to make sure to like fully hug each other and embrace each other at least once a day. I think like a full hug, like a 20-second long
hug. hold them tight type of thing.
Yeah. Like squeeze at least once a day. It releases stress. It just makes you feel better. It makes you feel connected. And yeah, you can like give each other like a kiss or do whatever, but when you fully embrace, like without that, like, nothing that's sexual, it's just 2 people
like feeling safe. It's almost like feeling safe in each other's arms type of thing.
Yeah. And it makes you feel, connected again. And so we try to do that at least once a day.
Yeah,
Life gets
I love that. I feel like Joe would love that too. Only Joe would try to slip it in while he was hugging me.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's supposed to be very much so like hold each other for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay. What did you hear, Kyle? Anything good?
Well, at first I was trying to figure out if you were talking like leading up or you're saying, now in our married life. But I will say that like leading up to the wedding, you hear someone said to me something along the lines of like, oh my God, like your engagement, like that time where you're, engaged and you're on that high, that's like the best time of your life. And I'm like, this wedding planning shit show has been horrible. So like, I was like, I'm not going to listen to that because this is by no means been the honeymoon. We're going to need a honeymoon after tying the knot. No, I think just it all comes down to like patience and being understanding of one another. And like, I think you really do feel, I mean, when you do tie the knot, you really do become like this package deal that is kind of hard to explain. You think you get it because I mean we were engaged, like I said, for 3 years, but like I think that just being mindful of how your actions affect your partners. It sounds so simple and obvious, but it's something that I like to be mindful of.
I'll say my other piece quickly because I think this is it's important. A lot of people say don't go to bed angry, which I think sometimes is unrealistic. Like maybe you had an argument at night. You can't just like,
you're like, that's not enough time to turn it around. It's just not enough time.
It might be like a longer conversation. You can't like just maybe like brush something under the rug. So something my mom actually told me that her and my dad would do is even if they were upset with each other and they didn't want to talk, like when they were going to bed, even if their backs were to each other, they would hold hands, or like touch hands or something under the covers just to be like, we're going to get through this, but I'm not right now.
Not today or tonight, but eventually I'll speak to you again. So here's my toe on your knee because that's all you're going to get for tonight. Totally feel you. Yes. Oh my God. I love it. Okay. Love all of this. I'm so happy for you guys. I think we've all tried bras that just don't feel right. The fit is one of the most important things about the bra, but how often do we have to just settle for something that just works? Bra shopping always seems like trying to make the best of a worst case scenario. And I know many friends that are smaller chested and have pretty much given up their hopes on finding something that feels 100% tailored to them. That's why I'm here to tell you about Pepper Bras. Pepper Bras are specially designed for AA to B cups. Their mission is to inspire women to embrace the flat in flattering bras that celebrate your body exactly as it is. No more cup gaps or unnatural padding to make you look like you're 2 sizes bigger. Pepper bras are made by small-chested women for small-chested women. Pepper is all about body positivity, and their products are designed to make you feel empowered and love your body. Pepper has over 11,000 5-star ratings. Women love Pepper, and for many of them, this is just the first bra in their life that actually fits. Get 20% off your first order when you go to wearpepper.com/display. That's wearpepper.com/display to get 20% off your first order. That's wearpepper.com/display. Terms apply. Available at wearpepper.com/terms. This is the time of year we want to come out of our houses. Spring is in the air and summer is right around the corner. Smooth is always in season, guys. This spring, maintain your wax regimen and keep your self-care going strong with the experts at European Wax Center. When you visit European Wax Center, you get the best by the best. The certified wax specialists are expertly trained in prepping, protecting, and pampering your skin. The European Wax Center online booking system makes getting a reservation simple and straightforward. You can also use the European Wax Center app to book your waxing service. I'm big on self-care, and to me, booking a moment of self-care is like its own little spring break. European Wax Center provides personalized consultations, enhanced health and hygiene measures, and you can trust the pros to provide you with a comfortable experience. Take a real spring break and book yourself a moment of smooth at European Wax Center. Make a reservation today. Your first wax is free. I want to turn the corner a little bit because I want to talk about Loverboy for a second. How did this start? This is you, Kyle. This is you creating this cocktail. Talk to me about it.
Very much with Amanda's help. But I mean, essentially, if you go way back, I'd always been very like nutrition focused. And, when you're in your 30s trying to film a show called Summer House, you're trying to be mindful of what you're putting in your body. And back then it was all about like, what I was doing Monday through Friday. And I realized just how much of my like caloric intake would come from the drinks on the weekend. And so that was around the time that Amanda introduced me to my first hard seltzer back in 2016. And, one thing led to another, and it's like, man, like the easiest thing to do from a nutrition standpoint, you start thinking about better decisions that I can make about like my alcohol decision, like avoid the sugary drinks and whatnot.
Right.
And Kyle loves like full flavored, like twisted tea was his go-to drink. He loves like fruity things, the daiquiris and the pina colada, like he just loves that stuff. So in his mind, he wanted to try to recreate something that had the no sugar, the low calories, like the seltzers were able to do, but give it more flavor and have it like be full of flavor and taste.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was like, certainly like a team effort trying to find the sweet spot in terms of like, we wanted to have a little more flavor than a hard seltzer, but still have like, 0 sugar, 90 calories. How do we actually create something that tastes better than what you're getting from like a White Claw or Truly?
Yeah. And Kyle's a serial entrepreneur. So for him, like he's always thinking about the next thing that he can like make or create or build. And, he's had a few failed ones.
Yeah, you got to know when to pull the plug. So this was like, I felt like the opportunity was just staring me in the face. By the time season 3 rolled around, I was like, I'm sick and tired of giving these other brands, huge brands, because alcohol is just full of big brands.
Right.
I'm tired of giving them like free, like product placement, like, and especially if we felt like we could do it better. And so one thing led to another. We launched our sparkling hard teas. Then we launched online our cocktails and our spritz. And it's been, again, from a relationship standpoint, it hasn't been easy because we work together. It's like we film the show in our spare time. Like Loverboy is. It's like, that's what
it's your bread and butter. It's where you're putting all your time and your energy. And I totally get that you're out there and you always have like a drink in your hand and you're promoting something else constantly. And everybody wants to drink what you're drinking, but it's not your own thing. And I had something very similar happen to me with Envy. That's why I created Envy, because I was wearing these outfits all the time on the show and I would get thousands of DMs and questions. Sure. What are you wearing? Where did you get it? What are you wearing? Where did you get it? And I'm sending them to everyone else's boutique. And because New Jersey is just very boutique. We have a lot of boutiques. So I'm sending them everywhere else. I'm like, whoa. You're going to go? You're going to come to Melissa's boutique next week because I'm done with this. Like, how about come to my boutique? So that's how I did it. And let me tell you, it's a great concept. I think the packaging, I've seen I haven't tried it. You guys have to send me some. I'm dying to try this.
Yeah, we got to get you some.
You got to get me some over here in Jersey. I need to try some Loverboy. But it's great packaging. I love the way it looks because I did Google it and see it. It's super cool. I love the way it looks. So is it vodka based? What is it? What's in there?
So we have a couple different products at this point. Our sparkling hard teas have like a very neutral, gluten-free like alcohol with similar hard seltzers. We don't use actual vodka because it would actually kind of limit the number of places you could buy it.
Okay.
So it's categorized as a beer, which is why it's sold everywhere that beer is sold.
Like a spritz, almost like a spritz or a beer.
And then, actually we do have a spritz line. So that's wine-based. And that the whole thing there is like, let's basically replace our Aperol spritz habit with something that had way, way, way less sugar. So all the flavors coming from real juice and purees. So that's 0 added sugar. And then we started drinking a lot of espresso martinis on Summer House. And
that's my jam. I am an espresso martini girl.
Well, we started thinking about, those are loaded with sugar too. Basically all the tasty drinks are absolutely horrible for you. So then we came out with came out with a canned espresso martini, and then we just launched a Cosmo, basically adding our little twist in these products.
And those are also wine based. It's it's orange wine. It basically tastes like vodka, but it allows us to sell it online and ship it because it's wine.
Right. So if it's vodka, you can't do that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we found a creative way to come up with a product that could be sold online and still taste amazing. So It's been a labor of love.
But we'll have to send it to you because
yes, please do. And I know that you guys have been incredibly successful with this. I mean, how many markets have you gotten Loverboy into over the past 2 years? Is it out there? How are you guys doing with that as far as distribution goes? And do you have a favorite? I want to know your favorite from all the Loverboy.
I mean, it all started for me with like the lemon iced tea because it was like a replacement for my twisted tea. Twisted it's really bad for you. It's just loaded with sugar. And our lemon iced tea is light. It's refreshing and zero sugar.
My favorite tea flavor it's actually our newest one. Strawberry lemonade is like hands down. Yeah. It's really
coming
good.
Out. It's coming out soon, but it's been challenging because the way our products are distributed, you need hundreds of distributors to cover the country. So we had to like open up state by state, market by market until we got to a place where we were able to start kind of stepping on the gas. Now this spring, we're turning on 19 new states, bringing our total to about 40.
And that's for all of our teas. Yeah. So our teas will be in 40 states as of this spring. And then our spritz and cocktails are only sold online, but they ship to 44 states?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you guys. It's awesome to be able to have this platform and, do something with it, create a business. I come from living with a big entrepreneur, so I get it. He is like that guy who has been, and he's, obviously a couple years older than you, but he's definitely that guy who tries things, and that's the best way to be. You will be successful that way. And you're never going to be successful without having a couple of those failures first and realizing things don't work. But people with a mindset like you have, you will be successful. So I just know it because I live with one of those, and I love that you guys are like,
tough because like,
you're building the brand together too, as a couple, which is awesome, Yeah.
No, it's fun to like have someone there that, to high five. And then also when, shit hits the fan, kind of pull each other back up. We, when I was making the tough decision to like stop working on what I was, it was actually a nutrition coaching app, and then double down on Loverboy. I mean, it was daunting, like to pony up my cash again. But, it was like one of those things where it was like staring me in the face. I was like going to regret it if I didn't give it a shot.
Right. And you're happy, right? You're feeling good about it. It's going well.
Yeah, it's been a wild, wild ride.
Let me just ask you this before I'm going to ask you guys, we're going to jump to the next segment real quickly, but I just want to ask you this. Did you go to did you go to school for something? If you weren't on reality TV, what did you want to be in life? Like, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I'll let you go first because she's actually doing what she went to school to do.
I went to University of Connecticut and I got a degree in graphic design. So when, out of college, I worked for Rent the Runway as like a stylist, but eventually got a job for a big international skincare company as their graphic designer. So I became like their sole one, but that's when, Kyle and I met. I helped with a lot of his startups doing design for them. And I think that's why he married me, because he was getting free design work.
He's like, let me reel this in. There's benefits here.
Yeah. So if I wasn't doing reality TV, I mean, I had a full-time job up until the end of 2019. Season 4 was when I left my full-time job to work full-time or my corporate job to work full-time for Loverboy. But I would have continued on the path of design, become like an art director, creative director, do photo shoots and stuff like that was the direction I was going in.
Got it.
Yeah. And I have the very conventional path of going to graduate school, getting my MBA, and then doing reality television.
Yes. Got it.
My friends are like, what are you doing? Like, go work for like an investment bank or consulting or something. And I was doing startups. I've run my own business since I was 20 years old. I had a few corporate stints, one of my first jobs undergrad, but I went when the world was like melting down, the financial crisis. I went to get my MBA, and then I've been doing startups ever since 2011.
Wow.
So this
Awesome.
is like, I don't know, my 5th or 6th company. And yeah.
It's funny when people think reality TV kind of defines us and that's like our whole world and they think it's our job. Like they think that it's something that we do. Cause Joe and I get this a lot too. Like the reality television show is not even a quarter of like what we do or the businesses that we run. Like, and it's funny how the world out there just believes that like that's our main bread and butter, right? And I'm sure they feel the same about with you guys, right? They think that we film this show like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that like that's our bread and butter, but there's just so many other businesses going on, and the reality shows are like a quarter of what we do. It's almost like a side gig, right? It's a side gig.
How long do you guys film for?
I mean, we do film, I would say a good 3 to 4 months. So a lot longer, I would say, than you guys do. Is that right? Or you guys film for how long?
More condensed.
Yeah, we're like 2 months, 11 weekends, and it's mostly just weekends. So there's a whole world that exists when we're back in the city during the week.
I think a lot of people, I mean, speaking of like defining, right? Like I am a party animal, but like, that's because like for the other 40 weeks of the year, I'm working my ass off. And like long before I started filming, going to the Hamptons, like I was doing that. Like I was going out there to let loose.
Exactly.
Because, you know, the New York, like work hard, play hard lifestyle, you know, I'm like a caged animal for most of the year.
That's it. That's our motto. Joe and I are very work hard, play hard. We are, and we do work hard. I mean, we are workhorses. We will work from 7 a.m. until we drop. But like, that's when we go out, like we're drinking, we're having a good time. And we're so fun because we work so hard that we like need that, you know? So trust me, I appreciate it. Yes. And I totally get where you guys are coming from. We all know that we are what we eat, but it can be tough to make time for shopping, meal planning, prepping, and cooking. So why not go straight to the good part with great meals that require no prep whatsoever? Splendid Spoon sends delicious plant-based meals and snacks right to your door. It's ready-to-eat food designed to fit into your busy schedule instead of taking time out of it. Their food is absolutely delicious, and you will be blown away by how much flavor is packed into these plant-based meals. Splendid Spoon meals are shipped right to your door, ready to eat. You'll only lift a finger to press start on your microwave. Splendid Spoon fits into any schedule, and there's a meal plan for everyone, even busy moms like myself. Every single meal is 100% plant-based, gluten-free, and GMO-free. Always made with plenty of vegetables, legumes, healthy fats, whole grains, and spices from all over the world. Plus, eating plant-based food can come with a wealth of benefits like improved energy, sleep, digestion, and complexion. Try Splendid Spoon today and take meal planning off your plate. Just go to splendidspoon.com/Melissa for $50 off your first box when you subscribe to the Breakfast, Lunch, and Reset Plan or the Breakfast, Lunch, Dinner, and Reset Plan. That's splendidspoon.com/Melissa for $50 off. All right. So listen, I do this segment with everyone who comes on display with me here. It's called Grilled with Gorga. Rapid fire questions. You can both just give me one answer each. You don't have to get into it. Just give me your answers. Okay. Are you ready?
Kyle, don't be verbose. Just one word.
Okay.
I'll try. You can give me a small explanation if need be. Ready? Okay. Here we go. Grilled with Gorga with Kyle and Amanda. So excited. Okay. First celebrity crush.
Mine was Michael Vartan because of Never Been Kissed.
Wow.
Punky Brewster, but then probably more like Kelly Kapowski.
Oh my God. Punky Brewster. Are you kidding me? She's so cute though. That is so funny. Okay. Give me your favorite either 80s or 90s song. What's your favorite?
Mine to this day is Breathe. That 2 a.m. It's like, you know.
Wait, what's that? Wait, sing it. Wait, what?
Sing it.
2 a.m. and she calls me because I'm still awake. Can you help me unravel my latest mistake? I don't love him. Yeah.
Oh my God, you sing good. I love it. Just breathe. All right, I got it. Kyle, go ahead.
From the 80s, I mean, maybe it's because the band is called Loverboy, but working for the weekend, man. Like that's my MO
Love
in a
it.
nutshell.
Oh my God, love it. I love that you know 80s music. I'm an 80s fanatic. So I mean, I really am. Okay. What's your biggest regret, Amanda?
Oh my gosh. I don't live with too many regrets. Honestly, I just kind of shake things on, move forward. I don't know if I have any regrets.
I take my career too seriously. So since I've been self-employed my whole life, I don't like let myself travel and actually take a vacation because I just feel like, that means like nothing is happening to progress, so I actually regret just not having traveled more.
I have regrets. I just don't know if I have one big one.
Me.
Yeah.
Well, good. I love it. Okay. Best decision you've ever made.
Aside from getting married, starting to foster dogs. When we started fostering.
Yes, I hear you guys foster a lot of dogs. How many do you have right now?
At our door, at our feet.
I feel like I was going through, I was getting like sad seasonal depression stuff. I was just feeling really low when we started fostering, and I just like had a whole second life.
Wow, that's amazing.
For me, I would say like sometimes you just got to trust your gut and hope you have good instinct. Doing Bravo, I mean, it led me to like proposing to Amanda probably a little sooner than I would. It forced me to like stop one business to start another. I think like, doing a reality show, particularly if you do have like an MBA, is like the last thing that people probably recommend someone to do. But like, I did it.
You did it.
Best I've ever made.
I love it. Good Bravo decision. Also, it's very admirable that you guys foster dogs. I just want to tell you that. That's pretty amazing. Good for you.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's very sad when you like have to let them go, but it's also very rewarding. It's a very rewarding process. So it brought me a lot of joy.
Beautiful. Okay. What is your pet peeve?
Certain mouth noises. It's not like all mouth noises. It's not, you can chew with your mouth open, but certain like slurping and like jaw clicking and things like that. It just makes my skin crawl. I'm always like, go in the other room.
That's so funny.
Man, I'm going to go with feet. I don't know how people can have a foot fetish. It's like, I have like a foot peeve. Like, I don't know, man. I just don't like
You hate feet? You hate them?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so, wait, does Kyle click his jaw and do these mouth things?
He has his jaw clicks. He doesn't have as many mouth noises. Sometimes it's just the way he like chews nuts. I'm like, can you do that quietly?
Yeah, I have to like eat on like the
Welcome to married life. Welcome to married life. You never knew things bothered you before. All of a sudden shit just starts bothering you.
I'm like, you got to eat those nuts somewhere else.
That is so funny. Okay. Obviously I want this answer from both of you from before you met. Okay. Worst date you ever had?
Oh my God, I know mine. It was a first date. We were going for apps and drinks. He asked if I had ever tried grilled octopus. I said no. He placed an order. I tried it. I didn't love it. He asked if I was still hungry, and I said yes. And he placed another order of grilled octopus. So I had like 3 orange margaritas and no food, and like went home right after. I was like, who orders the same appetizer twice? First of all,
who does that, especially if you don't like it?
Yeah, it was like my first time trying it, and he just ordered it. He was like, "Are you still hungry?" It's like, "Would love more food. Let's get more grilled octopus." He must have really loved it. And I was just like, this very not thoughtful of what I might want. So for me, that was the worst.
Oh, good thing we got rid of him. All right, Kyle.
Oh man,
you had to have a couple bad dates.
Which one did you do the worst on?
I nail him. That's probably not the right thing to say. There was this one date. Sorry, sirens. Classic
That's
New York.
Okay. New York City life.
That's New York. There was this one date where I just was not feeling it. It was like through an app, and sometimes again you got to trust your gut. And I just was like blowing, her off, and then finally like she picked the bar, and then she chose the time, and like I show up, I'm looking around. And there's this one woman like reading a book at the bar, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm all for reading, but like
at the bar.
Yeah, and like I walk up and she's reading like a Harry Potter book, and I'm like, "What the hell?"
Wait, this is the girl you're about to date?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Was this from an
like,
app? Did you find this girl on an app?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And it was like one of those situations where I just wish I turned around, but I'm too nice of a guy, and it was like the most painful date of all time.
It was torture.
I'm like, full disclosure, I never read Harry Potter. So let's not talk about that.
That's so interesting though, because you would love for me to pick up a hobby like reading books. You're always telling me, don't be on your phone. Why don't you start reading more books? And apparently he doesn't actually like that.
No.
Well, he likes it now that he knows you. I don't know if you want to walk into a bar and see the girl you're supposed to have like a cocktail with into a Harry Potter book, like at the bar. That's odd. That's definitely odd.
And it was a shitty bar. Like everything about the date, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yeah.
She was nothing like her photos.
Oh, yeah. She catfished you. Is that what that's called?
I was like, damn, I got fooled.
All right. Your first concert, Amanda. What was your first concert?
In Sync.
In Sync. Oh my God. I love them.
My mom, my aunt, and my cousin. It was like the coolest thing that I've like ever done. I loved it.
Oh man. I think my first big one where I'm from New Hampshire. I think we like rented a limo, like went down in Boston. I think it was like Def Jam, like Method Man, Redman, it was like a rap tour, like, I don't know, Hard Knock Life or something like that.
Favorite late night snack?
Anything salty. I love mac and cheese, Cheez-Its, anything with cheese, apparently too. I'm
a sucker for like, ever heard of that brand Garden of Eden, like the Red Hot Blues?
No.
Their chips. Oof. They're
so
really
good.
Either that or Skittles.
He's never bought those in this house.
I know, because I will eat the whole bag.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Wait, okay, so what was your first job ever? Your first job ever?
So I had run my own company in college. My mom was like, "Are you gonna like actually go into the corporate world?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I sold.
What was your first
insurance?
Job,
insurance for like a Fortune 100 company.
Didn't you do like sell knives and stuff?
Well, that was in high school.
But yeah, it was your first job.
Well, that's your first job. You sold knives.
My first job when I wasn't landscaping was selling cutlery, Cutco knives.
Oh my God, I love it. All right, what about you, Amanda?
I worked for a company called Young Chefs Academy, and I taught pizza making classes for kids' birthday parties.
Okay, I like that. You're so domestic. I love it. What is your favorite? That's okay. What is your favorite show that you're binge watching right now?
Well, I've always been a Bravo fan. I love all of my housewives.
What's your favorite franchise?
New Jersey.
Is it? I love that. Yeah. I love that.
It's hard to choose, but I do. New Jersey is, I don't know. I know some of the places you guys go to, it just feels like it makes sense for me. But
look at that puppy, guys. If you can't see this, but Kyle brought over one of his puppies to the screen, and it is so cute. What kind of dog is that?
They're
who knows,
Dachshund,
right?
They're Dachshund Pit Bull Chihuahua mixes. We did a DNA test on them.
Oh my God, so cute. Do you want to keep any of these dogs?
We are keeping these two. We're adopting.
Oh my God, love that.
I told her once we get married, we'll get dogs.
They're beautiful. This is Ryder, this is Reed. I love those dogs. They're beautiful. Oh my God. Okay. So listen, I always end with, how do you treat yourself? So tell me, if you were treating yourself for the day, each of you, and it doesn't have to be together, what do you do that make the day all about you? How do you treat yourself?
I'm like long shower, skincare, do my nails, just kind of like hang out in my robe and just chill. But just like a very much so like at home spa day is my favorite thing.
I would probably pour myself or make a mezcal margarita and then let myself sleep in, because even on the weekends I'm working, and sleeping in.
You would drink a margarita and then sleep in, or you'd sleep
in?
in?
Yeah. All right, listen, guys, Kyle and Amanda, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me today. You two have been so much fun and so open and great, and I appreciate you. So thank you so much. I wish you guys nothing but happiness in your marriage and success with the Lover Boy brand. Everyone, be sure to check out their Wedding on Summer House finale, which is out actually right now. And make sure you guys all treat yourself to a pack of Lover Boy because it sounds so good. Less sugar, which I love. You can check it out at drinkloverboy.com. And also in your local stores. Guys, so fun. We need to do dinner. Let's do dinner with the four of us with Joe. We'll come into the city. We'll come into the city. And send me some Lover Boy.
I know we're going to get on it right now. I can't believe we didn't do
that. I thought someone had sent you some, but we've had some delays with our sample requests.
Yes, no worries. Thank you again for doing this. The dog is beautiful, and I hope to see you guys both very soon.
Yes.
Great to see you. Thanks for having us.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.
Hey, it's Perez Hilton, celebrity gossip guru and host of the PHP podcast. Don't miss this week's episode when I talk to best-selling author, producer, and mother, and you know we're talking all things parenthood, Melissa Rivers.
My mom used to do a ton of Britney Spears shows. And then when she shaved her head and all that went down, we talked in a meeting, and my mother's like, you know what? This has crossed the line. It's not funny